Welcome to the Black Country Business Podcast. So, we're going to start with a question today, and I'll put this to all you business owners out there. If you had to take 3 months out of your business, what would happen to that business? Because isn't it interesting? I asked this question to clients. What would happen to your business if you should just go away for 3 months holiday? Or let's say the worst comes to worst, you had to take that out because of perhaps you were sick or something, What would happen to all that hard work you just spent the last 10, 15, 20 years building just to have it all? Well, there's two directions it could grow, isn't there? Those 3 months, the business either grows without you or it starts to die without you. So, why did you go into business for in the first place? Is the question I always ask for. Well, we leave these jobs and we go out there and think, right, okay, I'm going to go and do this for myself because I could create more money for myself or I could create more time. But then when we mention to business owners, why would you want to take 3 months out of the business? It always becomes like, well, that business needs me. So you're not actually creating more time, are you? You actually get more time off if you was to go and work as an employee. At least you get your 21 days then. Andy, do you see this much in your clients too?
I think it's a really interesting journey, isn't it? Because you see, most people go into business, they go into business as the technician in their business. So get busy with the busyness of the business. What does that really mean? It means that they're probably tied into the operation because that's why they started in the business in the first place, because they were a good plumber, electrician, architect, whatever it is they were. So they get busy in the business of the business. And, when we start to work with people a lot of the time, they're in this place where they're not excited about growth. They're not real excited about growth because growth means that they work harder. So even though they might talk about wanting growth, some little subconscious gremlin goes, you know what? I'm not up for running much faster because I thought I was going to do this thing to make more money and get more time off anyway. So what we do is we start working with them, don't we? And we'll start creating systems to run the business around the operational element of their business. And we'll try and extract them from that operational element as fast as possible. And in so doing, what we do is sort of get them out of their pain. That's quite interesting because now they've got not a business that works without them, but a business of their business that works without them. The operation works. And I think at this point, they breathe this massive sigh of relief and go, thank goodness it works. And it's like dragging yourself up this really steep hill and then standing at the top and going, now the view's nice, isn't it? Because it's really easy to get complacent at this point because you go, feels like I got some clear air. But for me, there's the second part in this building the business. If you're going to build a business, a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you, the operations is the stuff that gets stuff out the door. You got to have the stuff that gets in the door.
Yeah.
So what we usually realize then is that, you've built this system that gets the stuff out the door, but you haven't got a system for getting stuff in the door. So you've got all this capacity and all this ability to scale this business, but no way to get the business. And as a result, most business owners then get busy in the business of bringing sales and marketing to the business. But that's not a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you either. So we have to systemize that in the same way as we would the operations. And I think that's the really interesting thing, So if you think that you could leave your business for 3 months, you could probably leave the operation for 3 months. You probably end up with some customer complaints unless you systemized it pretty well. But you definitely couldn't leave it to grow for 3 months because unless you've got systemized sales and marketing in there as well, the business doesn't work. The seesaw is not balanced.
It's interesting, Andy, because I want to make this clear for any listeners right now. You're talking about systems in place.
Yeah.
There's a big difference in this. If you listen to what Andy just said then, and without that understanding of the word systems, the systems is something that can operate and you grow. You do the work once and it pays you forever.
Yeah.
This isn't a case of running around chasing after work and running around doing the work. And that's a big mindset shift of, look, this isn't about me having to Okay, chase that, chase that, chase that. Now it's here. I'm going to go and chase that and do the work to get it out the door. A
Yeah,
system is there, something that you can just feed it in one end and it's going to come out the other. And then you just keep adding onto it, as what Stephen Covey says, sharpening the saw.
yeah,
So you're talking about having the operation systems in place, but now we're talking about putting a system in place to bring in a steady flow and more increase the growth of the sales as well. This isn't a case of, oh, look, there's no sales here now, so I'm going to run after and run around like a blue arse fly trying to get more sales into the business.
absolutely. Because really what we're talking about, if we want to create freedom, if we want the ability to really go and take 3 months, just because that's the number we mentioned, but any amount of time really out of the business, it has to service the customers and it has to get customers to keep growing. So we have to have systems around both those sides of the business. Otherwise, we don't have a business. We don't. And I think that's the bit that, because most people just move away from pain. But it's really interesting because moving away from pain means they've managed to drag themselves out of the operation. They're not running around with the hair on fire anymore, just putting out fires in their business. And so they go, looks all right now. But they still haven't created what. And I think that the point is, because then there's the opportunity to fall into a comfort zone, they miss the most exciting part. Because for me, undoubtedly, I've watched loads of clients go through this where they systemize the operational part of their business and they get themselves out of it. And then they go, what next? And what they neglect to realize is that now they've created something scalable. Because if the operation is systemized, you can parachute people into that to create more capacity very, very easily. So actually, this is the opportunity to really go big and really grow that business without having to run faster. It's about think smarter, not run faster. So getting to that clear air at the top of the hill, having systemized that operation and then going, do you know what, I'll just stand and look around for a while now because it's nice up here. Actually, you just missed the biggest opportunity. You've done all the hard work. Now it's just one last push to really summit this thing.
So back to the question then. If you had to take 3 months out of your business, what would happen? Let's bring it back to that then. What's the reality? Have you had clients, Andy, that have took 3 months out of their business?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I know the answer to that actually, because you've had clients that have took 1 year out of the business.
Yes. Absolutely.
But the reason they could do that, and I'll mention this to some people, friends that I are more into the technician side. So we spoke before about, the entrepreneurial ladder going from technician to all the way up through to business owner and entrepreneur. And they go, well, no, how could I possibly take 3 months out of my business? Because then who would do the work and who would look after all this and this? And I go, well, that's the point.
That is the point. Yeah. What does that really say? If you can't do it, then it says the systems don't run the business yet.
Yeah. And if the systems don't run the business, who does?
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. So for me, I get that it's very easy to get consumed in the operational aspects of the business, and freeing yourself from that feels like you've now got freedom, but you don't yet. There's another level of thinking on top. At the end of the day, in the same way that we talk about most of the operational things in a business, you can pay somebody 10 to 15 an hour to do. Guess what? Most of the sales and marketing stuff, you can pay somebody 10 to 15 an hour to do if you've got the right systems as well. So why wouldn't you want to create that once you've created the space to think about it by freeing yourself up from the busyness of the business?
Yeah. And I love the word you used about scalability from there on as well. I mean, ultimately, if you could take 3 months, 6 months, 1 year out of your business, you've got a business there that can work without you. So where's the best use of your time then? Then you can start to think about growing and scaling this business by, 10 times the size it is now. Because back to what you said at the start, Andy, we speak to business owners. Oh, yeah, I'd like to grow my business. But I don't want to grow it because that means that my 50-hour, 60-hour week already would be 70 hours, and that gives me less time with family. I could be making more money from it, but so what? I don't want more pressure and less time with family. Well, it's because you're not really scaling the business then. You are growing it, but at the sacrifice of your time, and that's not what it's about.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you think about it, what happens is the logical part of this is when you then start freeing yourself up from the operation, you go, oh, brilliant, I'm free from the operation now. So you might start getting excited about growth. But then there's probably something else that kicks in instead. Because when you were buried in the operation, it's kind of, if I get busy, I'm just going to have to run faster, work harder. I'm not excited about that. So you drag yourself out of the operation and you go, now I've got this beast to feed and it's all down to me. There's one person who's growing this business. So that doesn't work either. The systems in the business are back out of balance again. So for me, you know, you've got to create leverage around the sales and marketing as well. This is a team of people too, running systems to create consistent, systematic inputs into the business so they can get consistent, systematic outputs from the business. And then the cycle works.
Good. That sounded like a bit of a mouthful then, Andy, actually.
Don't ask me to say it again. Don't ask me to say it again. We could write that one down as a tongue twister, couldn't we?
Okay, guys, so you're probably listening right now, and this is about taking some action, really. So we don't do these podcasts free of charge. We expect you to do some actions around this as well, because we're not just here for a nice chat. We want to give you some ideas. We want to actually change. Our vision here is to change business in the Black Country. We want to put Black Country on the map and show the rest of the world what we're all about. So what actions can you start to take right now? Well, we've got a few things out there for you, and we give them away to all Black Country business owners. So I'll just grab this right now. Of course, we've got Andy's book. It's back to front if you're actually watching it on the camera, but still. Think smarter, do less, get more from your business and your life. If you are a Black Country business owner, you can grab one of these by visiting www.blackcountry.actioncoach.co.uk, and it's right at the top of the page. Click on there, put your details in, and we will send you one in the post. Also, we have the 21-day business challenge. So these, if you're not a book reading person, you can listen to it on audio or you can listen to it on video as well. We'll also put one of these in the post if you request one via the website, and the link straight at the top of the website. So jump on there, guys, and take a look on there. Get some ideas for your business. Andy's book, 14 years of business coaching experience in there, Andy? You've seen a lot, especially.
And a couple of 100 businesses we've grown.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't get some ideas from that, look, you're not taking action, are you? You're just here for a nice little audio chat. And if you are there for some take even bigger action, 21-day business challenge, you can go in there, watch the videos, and take some steps every day. Alternatively, why not just pick up the phone and talk to us?
That too.
You can book in via Calendly. The link's on the website as well. So 3 options there for you guys that are listening right now to take some action, to make sure that as we're just coming out of lockdown, now is the time to step up and make sure that this next year you're going to make up for the year that you've just got through, and you're going to make this the best year ever. So action, success is rewarded by action.
Cool. Good stuff.
Awesome. Great stuff. Cheers, Andy, and I'll catch you all next week.
Cheers.